Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And what you're seeing on screen is T-Mobile moving its final and last material assets onto 5G. And that's the strand mount small cells for my market. I know in some other markets, they do have actual CRANs built and in other, right, it's more of a one directional, which these are one directional too, but I've seen the ones where it's just on the pole and they have like a one directional antenna. So I've seen those small cells. I have some of them in my market as well. But T-Mobile is moving those assets onto 5G. Some of them have N41. What has recently been spotted on another strand mount that has been upgraded, that it came with N25 only. N41 was not associated. It was just N25. So T-Mobile is picking pockets because this is a capacity play. These were a capacity play from the beginning. T-Mobile is very dense, so they're not using these for coverage. These are capacity plays where they're offloading and they're putting them in very busy areas that where connections are offloading to this strand mount, right? Some people debate. They'd rather have the CRAN. I'd rather have the CRAN myself. It's more 360. It's better coverage. It's not one directional. But T-Mobile chose these. It's fine, right? Because I compare the market, I look at how AT&T is building, and AT&T is building their CRAN for literal coverage, right? Like they're putting CRAN in an area where there's no macro, nothing nearby. These are being built in areas where T-Mobile has macros in the vicinity, right? So these are clearly capacity plays, but they're being moved on to 5G, right? T-Mobile stated very early that they were a 5G business, and that's how they are behaving, right? So moving forward, the LTE, I mean, I've said this in plenty of videos, and I've said this long ago, LTE is done, right? It's still going to be around, right? IoT, we have IoT devices. In markets where T-Mobile has band 12, they do not have band 12 nationwide. That will be probably the last layer that they'll keep on LTE at 5 megahertz. In non-band 12 markets, which they do have, that will likely be AWS. They will likely keep AWS to 2100 megahertz on LTE, and they will trim that down more than likely to a 5 megahertz slice. They did the same during HSPA. For those of you who remember, HSPA was still around for quite a while, even though we had shifted to LTE, and they left about 5 megahertz on HSPA, and that's, about the same. That's how that will go on the LTE side. Once, majority of the usage is already on 5G. They're telling us 80%. That's likely higher today, will be even higher by the end of the year. So, there's no need to really push anything big onto LTE anymore. It all just needs to be, trimmed, refarmed, and moved over to 5G. But T-Mobile is aggressively pursuing an all 5G business. I know Verizon and AT&T are really still focused materially scaling the mid-band on the macro side. I know Verizon is shifting over to C-band on the C-RAN, the small cell, but that's going to take a while for them since, they're still heavily focused on the macro. T-Mobile's done with the macro for the most part. They're still here and there installing N41 on some sites, but it's not their majority priority anymore, right? That's now shifting. They can start catching the DAS systems that they have, moving that to N41 and the small cells that are out there. For my market, it's quite a bit. They have quite a lot of them. For others, it's less. So for my market, it'll probably still. They'll probably still be adding N41 on the strand mounts in 2026, but at least it's getting done. And then, T-Mobile will move forward to be in an all 5G business. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.